Dungeon crawlers have a place in my heart. It's fun to build a character up from the ground to see them evolve over time and gradually become more heroic looking as legendary gear is acquired. It's unfortunate when some of today's modern dungeon crawlers, see Diablo III, fall short in these things and create a grindy game that requires farming gear to progress. Luckily, Runic Games' Torchlight II takes everything I loved about dungeon crawlers, does it right, and kicks Diablo III's candy ass straight at the curb.
Deep beneath Torchlight, a darkness gathered. 3 heroes confronted the beast called Ordrock. Yet even in death, Ordrock's corrupted heart endured and called out.
Torchlight II takes place a few years following the events that took place in its predecessor. The alchemist character from the first game has been corrupted by evil and destroys the town of Torchlight. He then begins hunting down the 6 elemental guardians to steal their power in an effort to control the balance of the world. You play as one of 4 new heroes tasked with stopping the alchemist. The story of Torchlight II to me was probably the weakest part of the game, but only because I played through the whole game with several friends, and when we play I find it difficult to concentrate on what's going on because I'm simply more focused on dealing tons of damage and getting badass gear. The character classes this time around are quite interesting, each with 3 different skill trees that let you really fine-tune your character with drastically different builds. The Engineer is a heavy armor melee class that can utilize cannons, robots, and magic to decimate his foes. The Outlander is a light armor ranged class that can utilize dual pistols or shotguns with low magic. The Berserker is a melee fighter who uses beast-like abilities and magic, and the Ember Mage is an OP elemental caster who blows shit up by simply looking at it funny. You gain levels by completing quests and killing enemies, and earn fame from slaying powerful monsters. Each time you rank up in level or fame, you're granted a skill point, which may then be spent in one of the 3 skill trees. Each tree has 3 powerful passive abilities, as well as 7 unique abilities that grow stronger with each point placed in them. Unlike Diablo III, you can't respec your character, which means the skills you take and level are yours permanently. Because of this, I've actually created 3 radically different engineers, which led to plenty of enjoyable replayability. I've spent 31 hours playing through the large game world, which is broken up between 3 acts consisting of tons of interconnected zones and 4 town hubs, all randomly generated each time you create an instance of the game. A decent amount of entertaining side quests are even scattered throughout, with fun and nostalgic objectives like hunting down One-Eyed Willie and looting Chester Copperpot. There are 4 difficulty settings available to you right from the start and can be switched on the fly. The game can also be played locally without an internet connection, or online, or on a LAN with up to 6 players per game. Hell, the game's even moddable. These features alone should bring smiles to the faces of the large masses of disappointed Diablo gamers. For the most part, the game ran pretty smoothly on my rig, but every time I added 1 or more players to my game, I got some pretty significant drops in frames, and during intense combat, it wasn't uncommon to see frames drop to the mid to upper teens. This is probably the only thing I didn't like about TL2. While the game mechanics and design keep things interesting and fun, to me, the real thrill is finding new pieces of exciting weapons and armor, and Torchlight II is loaded with them. Set pieces and legendary items are scattered everywhere and are given to you right from level 1. There is no grinding in this game to get the proper gear to advance. The gear you need is everywhere. Once you find a piece you like, you can place gems and sockets to enhance it, or pay an enchanter to place random enchantments on it. Much time will certainly be spent simply combining gems together and choosing enchantments to properly min-max each piece. It's also important that I point out that you have a pet right from the start who will fight and tank mobs for you, and even run back to town to sell your junk and buy fresh heal pots. Having not played the original Torchlight, my initial impression of the game was that it was a generic version of Diablo III without the massive production budget, which yielded dated visuals and audio. Well, after playing for a few hours, I simply couldn't have been more wrong. Torchlight II is amazing and is everything I want from a dungeon crawler. Blizzard should take note that you don't have to create a game that requires grinding to keep your player base. You don't have to force your players to go through identical content 3 times before you get to use the difficulty setting you want to play at. All you have to do is create a game that is genuinely fun to play. That's it. Pretty simple, huh? Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.